What's up, YouTube? Jay Trevelyan here, and today, I'm trying to plan out my test bench and the dimensions I want to build it. I plan on putting it up in my office where, I film these videos where I'm shooting in my chair here, and just trying to get the dimensions down because I don't have a huge space on my desk. I can't fit as big of a frame as I did in my last mining frame that I built with my 6 card P10690 rig. So I have laid out on my desk uh, the parts that I want to use in the test bench, as far as the power supply and the motherboard, which already has the processor, the RAM, and I'm probably going to do this on Windows. So I have a SSD and I also have an M.2. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. It all depends on the space. So I'll show you where it's going to be at on my desk. I do have like an L-shaped desk, so it'll be kind of when I'm facing my monitors here, it'll be right off to the right of me. So I'll show you that, where it's going to be, and we'll see what measurements that I want to use, and then I'll write them down. And tomorrow I'm hoping to get the test bench built so that I can start getting graphics cards on them and testing them. So let's check out the space and see what I can build and how big. Here's my test bench area. As you can see, it is it kind of just sits right next to me. So there's my gaming PC / editing PC. So it's just going to sit right next to it, and you can see I still have my 3060 Ti still brand new in the box. I've yet to open it, but I've had it for about 4 days. I really need to get it on here, so I want to get this test bench set up. I have a 650 CX650M Corsair power supply. It is rated, I think, 80 plus bronze, which, I wish it was gold, but I'm pretty sure it's a bronze rated power supply. I picked this up pretty cheap, but I plan on putting this into an actual gaming PC anyway, and then upgrading this to maybe like an 850 G3 or G2 if I can get my hands on it. Here you see I have it's a Gigabyte Z270P motherboard with 4 gigs of RAM, and then the CPU installed. I can't remember exactly what CPU it is. I'll have to wait until I boot it up to see. It's pretty much going to sit here. I want to be able to fit 3 GPUs on it. I do have an SSD, and I also have an M.2. It's actually only 120 gigs. It's not 256. That's just not the right box. But I was thinking about spinning the motherboard this way and having it sit like this on the test bench, and then the wires could run right behind to the PC. I do have a capture card. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's down there. I have an Elgato capture card I can run to it so we can get some good video quality out of the test bench when I'm using it, or just sit it this way. I do want to be able to fit 3 GPUs on this, which is why I want to upgrade this, which I'll get it upgraded eventually. I'm not in too big of a rush, but I don't know if I want to run an SSD or just put the M.2 in here. Since I've only run 3 GPUs, I don't need to use this slot, so I might just use an M.2. That way I can try and disconnect as many of these cables as I can, since it is semi-modular. So we'll see. As far as measurements, I'm probably just going to go 16, I think it was 16 deep on like my last one, which will put it from the front of that motherboard to about where it's at on my desk, which isn't quite the end. I don't mind taking up most of the space. And then as far as wide, I'm thinking 21 inches. So if we look at the tape measure, I'll be right at the edge of that power supply and a little bit further. So if I bring it over to the edge of this, give that about an inch, I'll come over to probably about the RTX box, which will take up pretty much this entire space. But I know I can drill that out to fit probably 4 GPUs. I can probably drill it out for, but I don't need it quite that wide for 3. So I'm not sure. I will be using the same materials as I did in my last one, which was the right angle aluminum and 3x1s with pretty much the same design. So I'll have it sitting here, and the first card I want to get on it is this 3060 Ti so I can test it. And then it's going to go into here into my gaming PC where I'll game with it, checking in games and things like that. And then the 2070 that's in it will probably go on this test bench and run until my friend picks it up, who's buying it from me. So those are the measurements. I'm thinking I might shrink this down to 19 or 20 inches. I'm not sure. I'm still planning this out. This is what I do when I plan. I measure the space out and see what I can do. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments if I should use the M.2, which I think is already flash with Windows, or the SSD. I wouldn't use this one anyway. I have one that's flash with Windows already and already like modded, so it's not going to run a lot of stuff with Windows. It was on my 5600 XT rig, but since I switched that over to Hive, I can use that SSD. I can DDU it. That way it'll take the 3060 Ti. I'm not sure if I'll have an issue with drivers as far as switching from motherboard. I can probably DDU the Intel driver too for the graphics, just to be safe. But other than that, it should be pretty good to go. So I'll probably use that, or just the same thing with this. Since this was flash, this was on, I want to say, my P106 104 rig, or P104 rig. I think this was on there at one point. And that's where that came from. I did have it on a mining rig, but I didn't modify the Windows like I did on my other SSD when I changed all the registry files. But I can do that pretty simply. But these are the parts I'm using with my test bench. I've seen good things about this. I've seen other miners use this board, so I'm pretty happy I have it. And I also have a second one. It's down on the floor over there. Safe spot for it. But I plan on getting that. That's going to be another rig that I'm going to build. I'm going to build a 6-card rig out of it, since it does have the 6 slots. I'll probably have to do some changes in the BIOS to get it that way, but that's not too big of a deal. But those are my plans as far as my test bench, how I'm going to build it, where it's going to sit on my desk, as you guys can see, so I can play with it. I can change overclocks. I'll be able to remote into it from my desktop. I'll also have a keyboard and mouse set up right underneath of it where I can use it. Since I can use my Elgato, I can pretty much use my other monitors, so I don't have to run a separate one. But I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on the dimensions I plan on using. I do plan on setting up for 3 GPUs. I don't plan on always running 3 GPUs on it. I just want to have space so I can put, like, if I can pick up another 3060 Ti, I can put that on there with the 2070. Eventually I plan on having multiple test benches, but for now, I'll just have the one. I did have enough material to build another frame, but I'll probably end up building that frame out so that I can build a 6-card rig on it. I've been trying to get my hands on, RX 574 gigabyte cards just to set up another AMD rig. The prices right now on eBay are a little too high, so I haven't really pulled the trigger on that yet. With the prices of what they're charging, I'd rather pick up like a 3060 Ti or even more 5600 XTs to run more rigs of that than to spend money. Like, people want about $140 USD just for their 574 gigabyte. I get that since it can mine Ethereum Classic now, the price went up a little bit, but I'm trying to get them for about $80 to $90 per GPU. I think that's a good spot for them, for me personally. But anything higher than $100 per GPU, I just don't think they'd be worth it, in my opinion, to set up a rig to mine Ethereum Classic, especially when you're going to get a couple more years out of them. I think it'd be more beneficial for me to look for more P106 90s for even cheaper, about like $40 to $50 per GPU, and get another year out of them and still mine pretty well. But other than that, I'm looking for more GPUs, hoping to grow the farm up a little bit more. I'd really like to know your guys' thought on which SSD I should use, if I should use my M.2 or use my traditional SSD and just hook it up. I can just have it sit right behind, I can have it like sit on the frame right behind the motherboard. I think I'm going to go with the sideways motherboard, just to keep it a little bit wider since I'll have the space. It doesn't really change the performance of it at all. It's more just an aesthetic thing, and also just the functionality of it, where the ports are. But hopefully I can get this test bench built tomorrow and have a video up probably later tomorrow of a GPU on it that I'm testing. Hopefully I can get that 3060 Ti tested on it. I've seen some pretty good things. I've seen people getting about 60 to 62 mega hash a second at around 120 watts, and I think at about 60% power limit, or maybe even a lower. So hopefully I can get that on there and see what it can do before it makes its way into my gaming and editing PC. And then the plans for my gaming and editing PC are to pick up an RTX 3080 once I can get my hands on it. And then the 3060 Ti I'll probably just put on a mining rig somewhere and let it live there for the next few years. But thanks for checking this video out. I got obviously a lot of plans going on in the future, but make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment in the comments below your guys' thoughts or what you guys are doing with your farms or rigs, or what GPUs you like, or maybe that I should try and get my hands on the tryout. But make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn that bell icon on to get notifications. Stay tuned for more.